Alrighty. Think we are live. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test the music. Okay. Cool. Looks like we're live. What is up, everybody? It is day 14 of the Toby Fox Music Composition Challenge. It is Saturday, so we technically still have one more day of fine-tuning things, getting things mixed and mastered. Today we are just doing a couple little tweaks here and there that I still have written down in my notes. I got a couple other things that I want to test thanks to some people in my community that I showed the piece to. And yeah, then we'll start getting into mixing and mastering this bad Larry and start brainstorming maybe a little bit more of the art that I think I want this to be, because I do have to post this song on YouTube. So I would like some art to go with it. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Before we start making new stuff, before I hopped on, I was testing a little glissando action here with the synth. Thanks to Pierre, one of the guys in the music community, who gave me a really good piece of advice and gave me a nice little idea tidbit to work off of. So yeah, we got like that little ear candy bit in there, which is cool. The other thing I did was I downloaded Squid Font, and I might want to start testing out some things. I know this says Glockenspiel, but let's try out some other. We got like the staccato flute that I was talking about before. The fun thing about the flute, I was testing it and it doesn't hit quite those high notes, so we may have to bring some stuff down an octave or do some thirds or fifths or something instead of following the exact notes. But let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, I think the flute doesn't quite fit here. Piccolo is a higher one. Piccolo basically sounds like the flute, but it can actually hit the higher notes. Maybe flute isn't quite the one for this. And the trumpets don't even hit. Some of these don't even hit the notes that I'm looking for. Violas. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Ooh. I like the détache. That sounds kind of nice. Maybe that fits in a little bit better. Super tiny. Jacob. And then the other green develops. What's going on, guys? We're just cooking over here. We are doing a few last minute tweaks and tests, and then we'll kind of get into the mixing business here. But thanks for hopping on so quick. Man, do you guys have like notifications on for when I'm going live? If so, you are a real one. And also, green develops, I take it that means that no theme park today, or short time at the theme park. since you are joining. Maybe I want these a tiny bit louder. You know, after debating, I think I still like the SGM sound font that we kind of had. I think it was SGM with the glockenspiel. I think that was kind of fitting. Just like adds a nice little touch of high end. Just adds like just some twinkle. I know it's a battle theme, but oh, audio being weird again already? Wow. We're speed running it. Here, let me save. Yeah. On OBS, I do see that something's going on. It's thinking. Thank you guys for letting me know. Is my voice also weird? Is that better? Let's play the track and you guys let me know. Is that better? Do I need to restart OBS? Okay, voice was good. Sick. Thank you guys. Yeah, I don't know why. I love the term bit crush because it exactly like I can envision what you guys are hearing, and that's not that great to experience when you don't want to hear something bit crushed. But it's so weird that OBS keeps doing that. Jacob, you watched Spider-Man Brand New Day. Nice. How did you enjoy Brand New Day? And thank you for having notifications on. Cool. Sweet. Other thing I wanted to try out was some slow panning for the synth lead. I think that would be kind of cool. That was also a recommendation by someone in the music maker community. So shout out to, I want to give them proper credit. It was J.W. Patterson. That's the one who said that. Thank you, J.W. About the synth could slowly pan across your headphones back and forth. Not like a super fast ping pong, but like a slow-mo where it just kind of feels like it's rotating a little bit. I think that could be kind of cool to try out. Spider-Man was good. Nice. I enjoyed the thematic music. I was doing music theory watching. Yeah, that's the fun thing when you start learning the dark magic, is you start picking up on the tricks that you've learned, and you're like, oh, I see what kind of chord progression they were doing there. Now, which one? I know you can do it with Panomatic, but I remember looking it up before and there was like a better way. It might have been Fruity Delay, and there was a preset for ping pong. And I want it to be pretty delayed. Let's see if this... No, not the delay. Maybe it's not delay that I'm looking for. Maybe it's something else. Oh, because we already have a Fruity Delay. But we just have it set to general. Panomatic might be the one that we need then. Maybe I want this centered. This is going to pan around. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Does that impact anything else that was kind of going on here? I liked having it panned away so stuff in the center could kind of sit. But if it's panning back and forth, maybe it's fine. Just trying to think, like, does that impact what this is doing? Yeah, I think that's cool. If not, I think I had the synth lead panned like 50% left. If I ever want to go back to it, I kept it pretty simple. That's cool. Have I seen Brand New Day? I have seen it, yes. I watched it last weekend. Feels like just yesterday, but I think it was last weekend. It was packed in the movie theater because everybody was there to see it. And it was an awesome experience. I had a lot of fun. A lot of good themes, a lot of interwoven stories in there. It was doing a lot, but they handled it very well. Made the animation for today and posted it, so I'm gonna get a head start on the one for tomorrow. Green, that is sick. You are crushing the animations. Props to you. Wow. All right, now the other thing that I wanted to check off my list. So slow pan at ping pong. That's how I wrote it down in my notes. Not confusing at all. drum snare at outro too quiet, buried in the mix. When I was listening to it with not my earbuds in, but listening to it out of my laptop speakers, I could tell the snare at this part was getting a little lost in the mix. Just needs a touch of EQ. Go to the snare. If I like it sounds a little just like wet, if that makes sense. I'll loop this actually. But also like some body a little bit more. Stands out just maybe a touch more. particular about my snare sound, if you couldn't tell. The other thing I can do too is I like the sound of it. Mix and boost. Go back to this. And okay, the default kit is kind of mixed already. This is the fun part about EQing, guys, is we hear the same thing over and over. Doesn't have that like punch to it, you know? Thanks, Jacob. It's like almost there, like it's totally serviceable, but as a drummer, I'm also just very picky. I guess this just has more body than, like if you can hear that difference, this one has like a depth in like the lower frequencies that I like, and maybe I just stick with that one. think I'm happy with that for now. Can always EQ it more in a different way once we dive into it. I need to listen to the full piece again, I think. Okay. I think the only thing that's bugging me a little bit is the swells into the same crash. It's got like a little clipping going on, which can also be fixed in the mix, but might as well fix it here. Yeah, I like that. Like if I just move this. Maybe that's all it takes. Where else? Here. Maybe that sounds slightly better. It's at least less disjointed. Rest of crashes and this wall. Okay, let's listen to this part with everything. Yeah, it's not as distracting. my ears. Yep. That was the ticket. Cool. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Green develops. Did I pick a name? I think I'm going to lean towards No Other Way. Just because I think No Other Way kind of encapsulates, after thinking on it a little bit more, like Between Us shows that it's about like two people fighting, but I feel like No Other Way kind of tells a little bit more of that story that I'm going for underneath the conflict that's happening between them. Like, it gives a little like, oh, no other way. Like, sounds like some stuff has been going down and they resorted to nothing else. But I also like Between Us. Like, I think it also encapsulates what we're going for, but I just think that No Other Way, yeah, fits better when I get to explain the story that's kind of happening underneath it. Jacob, personally, I think this could be a song right now. Be the song. Yeah, I think so too. I think we are ready to start getting into the mixing and the fun stuff. I mean, we've been doing some mixing as we go along, so that way it's pretty well informed, but I'll probably, gosh, do I want to go through the entire mixing phase, or do I want to keep it in MIDI? Because it's sound font, so it's not as heavy as when you have 14 tracks of actual native instruments, virtual instruments, basically. But I guess we could. We could, for sure. And the mixing will really be pretty minor stuff. Just, it'll be for things where we have like a lot of layers happening. Maybe something wants to take a little bit more of a backseat, so it's not a wash when you're listening to certain parts. That's basically the only difference. So we could get into that and keep all the same effects, the EQ and everything. The only thing that I would probably do is reset some of these things, like the violin being a little panned left, cello being panned right. But basically exporting all of this as audio files, so that way it's much easier to kind of like trim, move levels up and down without having to go in and be like, okay, highlighting just this area needs to get automated to move a little bit. It just gives you more control. It just takes some setup because you have to start kind of fresh. But I guess to make that gameplay decision, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's start exporting. We will call it, put it in a new folder called, do I want for mixing? Sure. Guess it doesn't really matter. For mixing, and then these will be what we call stems. So we'll go stems, make a subfolder within that. And we like to do dry stems and wet stems. Dry stems just meaning you take all the effects off of it, and then wet stems means you keep the effects on them. But before I do that, actually I want to make this a for mix FL Studio file. So that way I don't take stuff off. So you know what? Since we found the name that we want this to be, let's call it that. And we'll say for mixing, I think. Yeah, I think so. So we'll call this No Other Way TFox. No other way for mixing. That way we reset these pans. So everything is pan centered. The guitar stereo, the cello, and then basically you're also supposed to reset all of these pans. Yeah, which I guess I could do. I'm just worried that some of these are going to come in super hot because some of these were very loud. So we'll just have to be careful once we repan all these. Doop, doop. And then bring it to bring them, no. Thought I would be able to do it, but I can't. Darn it. I thought I could go by just making all of them type in value. Nope, gotta go one by one. Yeah. Curse you, FL Studio, not being able to highlight things and reset everything all at once. Stereo separation for the brass, got to remember that as well. Oops, nope, don't want an automation clip, I want to reset. 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 No. I don't think I have any of these actually, but if we don't, that's okay. We just don't have to use them. Okay, talkback mic, cool. That's looking good. And just triple check that I am not saving over my mixing. There's no other way for mixing. Save. Cool. Now what we get to do is export, export wave for mixing stems. We'll say no other way stems. And then it will fill in the suffix with synth lead, slap bass, piano, all that stuff. And this is where we click split mixer tracks. Enable insert effects, that's the setting we want to keep on to keep the effects on them. So have them be wet stems, which I do want. Full song, leave remainder, split mixer tracks. Okay. Sometimes it takes me a few times to get all the settings right. And now it's going to export all of those as audio files. and then we make a new session and throw those audio files back in, clean it up, and then we're able to make them all more malleable, basically. So this is 160 BPM, new. $160, and then do I have it open already? No. Need a new Finder window. Documents, image line, FL Studio, projects, Toby Fox for mixing, stems. Basically, let's see it as a list first. It also likes to export the master, which we don't need because that's everything on it at once. Okay, let's drop them in. I also like to change the color just to something. And then the last one, go purple, why not? Just looks nicer. And I like to not go alphabetically. I like to go kind of my melody instruments on top and then work the way sonically down with the lower instruments on the bottom. So let's see, what do we got here? Drums, drum 2, glockenspiel. I also like to have the accessory stuff kind of below the melody stuff, so when I'm looking at the timeline, I'm seeing the important melody things first. Brass, cello, choir, chords, crash, current. Current, I don't think we need. What's current? Oh boy. I think current is just another master file. So probably don't need that. Tom. We need piano. Okay. Got synth lead as well. Actually, instead of trying to do it this way, what happens if I just plop them all in? So we've got, this is very appealing to see, but I'm gonna have to move these colors around. So we want piano on top, so brass, you go down there. You get to go down there. I want all the drum stuff to stay together. Cello will be down here, so synth lead comes up. The violin is also a melody piece. Chords can come down. Electric guitar is also a melody piece, so that will come up. Crash will come down. Harpsichord will also come up. Let's see. Insert 28. I think that's an empty one. Yeah, sometimes the empty ones will sneak their way in. I think TalkBack Mic has some information in it. Actually, I'll keep insert 28 as well. I'm not sure what that could be, but it might have some audio connected to it that I'm just not aware of yet. Like it could be super tiny. Let's see, Tom 2, definitely go down here. Brass is kind of also a melody instrument, so that will go up there. The cello is at the end, so I'm okay with keeping that kind of with the lower string section. Chords, talkback mic, I'll just leave at the bottom. Toms. Bass. I'll probably make a group for the drums now that I'm thinking about it as well. Glockenspiel. I'll probably put the drums all at the bottom, just so I know where they all are. Overhead mic. Room mic. I like the snare. Choir, cello, slap bass. Insert 28. Still an anomaly, my friend. This is the... Oh no, this is the bass drum. Cool. Oops. Drum 2 can just be called... bass drum 2, sure, why not? These drums are the different drums, so I would not group those together because I want the like acoustic drum set to all be connected, if that makes sense. So I kind of break my rule a little bit with drums because I like to go off of what's most important to me when thinking about the drums, which is the bass, snare, hat, and then tom 1, tom 2, and then the mics, the overhead mics that are catching all the cymbals. And then I like to group with above track, call this track acoustic drums. So that way I can just hide them like that. And then if I need to pull them up, boom, kind of squared away. And then we're going to call this, I'm going to put this in the mixing session for mixing. I'm going to call it No Other Way Mix. And yeah, it's fine if it has a project folder because it will have backup files and things in case we ever need to go back on stuff. How we doing? Ezra. Okay. Glad you are in agreement, Ezra. No Other Way is the superior title. Cool. Yeah. It paints a pretty picture. Like, puts an image in your head. Now the other fun thing we get to do is load up all of these to different tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not going to say the next letter. Number 8. 9. This is such invigorating content, isn't it, guys? 11. 12. 13. 14. I'm not sure with insert 28. What exactly are you, buddy? You do have some information. What are you? so minuscule. I mean, I'll keep you around, but it's like, I don't even know where you came from. You're not the talkback mic, but you do have to do with the drums. So I'm actually going to put you down there. Because I think it's picking up like something about the drum, the kick drum and the snare. I'm hearing like little pa 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 pa. So maybe you'll add a little flourish, who knows. Because that's 14, bass drum, 15, 16, and then I need to make more. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, sure. Try to go for the exact number. I don't need that. I'll go down to 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. And 23. Okay. So I know this is piano. This one is synth. This one we got violin. Ooh, that's right. You're going to be in a game jam? Have fun. I hope it's a good team. Because teams definitely make or break the experience when doing the game jam. Glockenspiel. Crash. We've got chords, strings. Choir. Cello. Slap bass. And then these drums were from SGM drums. That's fine if they're not routed to their own thing. Don't think Toby really gets that into the weeds. Now for these drums. This is the bass drum. Snare. Hi-hat, I just shortened to HH. Tom 1. Oop. Not Tom 3. Anyone know more than 3 toms? I do. Cool. Got all that set up. Whoa, Ezra, okay. We're getting fancy. Next piece, you're going to try and level up your harmony with cooler chords and modal interchange and all that fun stuff. That will be sweet. I know Toby likes to do that sometimes too. Throw in like a, if you're in C minor, put in like a C major chord or something. With a lot of minor songs, I like to use the relative major, or I guess that's the inner mode, the major fifth of that one, since in a minor key, the fifth is actually a minor fifth, so it's less strong, less of a pull. I like to use the major fifth. I think I use that in this one actually, in some instances, where it just kind of like gives a little bit more tension. Because it's not using the relative minor. And this is the fun part. Okay, so if we turn off drums, actually don't know if that turns them all off or not. Yeah, didn't really need to do that, but this is the fun thing, is I like how the mix kind of was sitting already. So once we start splitting these audio files up, I'm going to probably jump back and forth between taking photos of, or screenshots of what the faders are at, the panning, the stereo image if it's widened, those sorts of things, because I could sit around here and mess around with it some more and maybe create the same thing, or I could just look at exactly what I did before, which is probably what I would rather do. So the piano plays basically all the way through, so I don't think I'm going to split it just yet. I'll probably split it once we get to parts that are a little more involved and they need a little bit more TLC with fine-tuning some of the fades. And I'm basically just going to trim and add little things there to reduce any popping instances if anything starts doing something that it shouldn't be, which can sometimes happen with audio. So the synth plays through basically everywhere. Sometimes I like to listen. It stops about here. So I know it's safe to trim. I'll even be safer and trim there than trim here. This is at 160 BPM. Sometimes I forget to update the BPM. I'm like, why isn't this lining up with the measure? And I'm like, oh, right, because it's at a different tempo, the audio file. And I think you have to take it off the timeline and then update the tempo and then put it back, or else it will stretch the audio thinking like, oh, you want it to also follow the... No. Unless there's a way to do it and have them not sync up, but that's what's happened with me. Okay. There's one there. That's safe to delete. Violin. Can also go in and trim out these parts. I'm just doing this fast. Sometimes I like to clip it right before and really zoom in, but for the purposes of what we're doing today, I think moving faster is key. Like even doing that. Electric guitar. Some of these things are already kind of relative to other parts. If I've automated some of the volume relative to itself, it's going to be pretty close. It's just like the faders have to get updated, you know? Harpsichord comes in at the B section. Okay, I can split that up later if I need to. Oh, it's that part. It's like, what tiny bit is that? It's that one, Tim. The one where you said you wanted it to happen once. That's the one. Here might be worth splitting. Also remember to save as you go. Yeah, the arpeggiated chords only really happen in the A section. Glockenspiel. I think it's the same thing. And the crash. Right, because I think I need to bring in the crashes again as individual audio files. I'll make a reminder to come back to that. Because I think I had it as that, like, the battery plug-in, and then I converted it to audio, so I think it just captured the track that would have registered some MIDI, and instead it decided not to do the audio since it was a separate thing, but that's okay, since it's pretty easy. So there is safe, here is safe. Don't want to trim too close to when it peters off, just in case that's like a quiet part and you can hear a little disjointed cutoff moment. You're like, oh, that should have rang out a little bit longer. The strings there get a lot louder. So we'll probably come back to that and separate that out. See? It hung on just a little bit longer than I anticipated. And I assumed I was safe. Basically right there. I'll split them for now, just in case I want those. It's like there. Yeah, it's got a lot of reverb on it. And that was with a right click to automatically delete that. Yeah, here we'll just kind of keep the tail. Yeah, it's got like a tiny, tiny bit. I know it's like barely perceptible, if at all, to you guys, but that will be important to keep just as is as it trails off. Cello? Any other cello? I think that was the only part of the cello. I guess I just used the brass for that quiet part. I thought I used it for both, but must have changed my mind. Slap bass. Oh, whoops. I thought it was at the beginning. Whoops. Basically like boop, there. Yeah. Oop. Okay, cool. All of these actually can get trimmed. Ooh, come on. Come on, Bessie. All of these don't start until way sooner. These drums, since they only come in for like a bit, it's not really worth to me right now. Yeah. Cool. So that's trimming. I gotta get the crash in there. Yeah, I usually just stick to the scale, which sounds good too, but it can always be groovier and it can always be heavier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a time and a place for it. Green, about done designing the characters, so that's peak. Nice, dude. Nice. You are crushing. Roman, stopping by once again. Thank you for stopping by once again. Always great to see you. We are just going through the mixing and all that fun stuff. I just need to get the crashes back in here. So I think what I'll do is, like, it doesn't give me as much flexibility, but it saves me from doing it twice, is I will go back and open the for mixing file, highlight just the track that has the audio on it, and I'm going to move the audio. Make sure I just don't shift it accidentally. I'm going to move it to this track. I'm going to highlight, export, for mixing, stems. I'm going to call this cymbal crashes. Or cymbals, I guess. Doesn't matter too much. Save. This one we're not going to do split master tracks. And we are just going to click export and see if it gets it right. I don't think it will, actually. I think I need... Wait, abort. I need to do that first. There we go. I was like, that's taking way too long. Simples. Full song, leave remainder. Split mixer tracks do not have that enabled. There we go. It's like it's just audio files. Cool. Now let's go back to... sure, why not? We'll save that. We'll go back to this. I'm going to take a picture of the mixer tracks. Let me actually hide this for a sec, because I need all this information. Basically up to there. Okay, cool. I will take a screenshot. It's not going to be perfect because I don't have the specific thing, so I might have to jump back and forth, but at least I'll have that for now. Yep. Just so I remember what's panned and what's not, at least. Okay. I'm going to go back to mixing. No other way mix. No other way. Open. And now, go back to stems. Where'd you go? There you are. Symbols. There. Now it's in one nice package, and I don't have to do it all over again. Honestly, could probably leave it. It's just the tails and everything. They're fine. I do want to change its color though. Let's do orange, because symbols kind of look orange, right? Sweet. Now if we hide this, go back in here, pull up that screenshot. Oh, where is it? Where'd you go? There it is. So let's see. Ooh. If I kind of line it up here. So piano was like up a bit. And usually the way I would actually mix this is by bringing in the pink noise generator, which just makes like a staticky wash sound, but I don't think anyone really wants to listen to that right now. And you start balancing the mix to that. And since we're kind of doing a Toby Fox track anyway, he kind of keeps his mixes relatively light. Synth lead goes down to like there. I should probably do the panning stuff first, right? So let's see, what is panned? Electric guitar, that's the stereo image. Cello is panned right, looks about 50%. So we'll do that. We'll bring violin M3, which I think I just renamed to violin. It looks like a touch, like 20% to the left. Give us a little spacey space. Brass had a bit of stereo image. I think 33% looks good. Electric guitar had way more like 2/3, even 75%. That looks about right. And then synth lead was down. Slap bass was a little below the knob. It's like somewhere around there. And I had these in a different order before, so I'm going out of order here. We had synth, slap bass, piano was up, strings was kind of like in the middle. Strings was like here. Violin was a little bit above that. Just the regular SGM drums. Those either look to be about untouched or slightly down. It looks slightly down, like maybe 1 decibel. Brass honestly looks untouched. I'll leave it. Chords arpeggiated were cranked all the way up because I think they were quiet. Harpsichord way down, just above the knob, just above these guys. Harpsichord was like here, just to get the pluckiness to cut through. Electric guitar was just below the stereo knob, like something like that. Choir was just a hair lower than electric guitar. Yeah, that looks right. Cello was almost cranked all the way, but it wasn't quite there. Glockenspiel was kind of in the middle. Crash looked unchanged. Bass drum was brought down. A little bit above Glockenspiel. Then snare drum was brought down about a fader's length from bass drum. And again, I'm just eyeballing this. We'll fine tune it, but I at least don't want to have everything super out of whack once we start getting into the fine tuning. Tom 1, Tom 2, overhead, and room were all basically the same. Hi-hat was down here. These guys were brought down to a little below bass drum. Okay. And we'll keep these down too, why not? Alrighty. honestly, like, not too much of actually what I want to update in this mix. I thought there would be like more, like I can test out some stuff, but honestly, like, they would be such minute things. Maybe I can just get away with doing it in the original file. Because now, like, some stuff I didn't get perfectly right in the mix, you know, copying it from the original. So some stuff stands out a little bit more than others, but honestly, like, maybe it's just because my ears have been so acclimated to it for the past 2 weeks too, but I might just need to test exporting what I have. And here, I'll save this. When I say what I have, I mean go back to the original of just like the MIDI. And, you know, I might just have to test out different speakers in case like some of these busier parts have some stuff in there that I'm not digging. But overall, it's pretty... Yeah, like I think the only thing I'd test is the automation we were kind of talking about here, where everything cuts off. Is there like a way to do a master? Wow. Not much. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, Ezra, I forgot you were Quest Tone. Yeah, I hope you've been having a good time with Quest Tone. I know being in college, you definitely gotta be more on the affordability mindset, let's say. I've been there. Yeah. Yeah, Roman. I'm with you, dude. I took the plunge, and in college it's definitely a much harder thing to swallow with a lump sum after already spending a lump sum on college. So totally give you all the props for doing what you need to do. Or no, Ezra's the one. You're the one in college. Sorry. Getting confused. Everybody's in different parts, but regardless, yeah, do what makes sense to you, for you and your financials. When I was in college, I definitely had like only off-season jobs, and paying lump sums of things is a harder pill to swallow when you're looking down the barrel of a 4-year degree or whatever degree you get, and you're like, oh God, I just spent so much money on college. Can I even afford rent? Oh, nice, Roman. Congrats on graduating, dude. That's huge. Oh, let's see. Actually, I think I can just make one automation clip and apply it everywhere. So basically, okay, good. Yeah, I did extend it just a smidge because I do want it to cut out. I guess I'll have two different versions. One that will, actually, I won't even need it for the piano because it will kind of be nice to have it ring out once it starts playing the other parts. But for the sake of this, I will just do it. Type in value like -16. And like, sure, that can be one. But like for the synth lead, definitely want one. Get fruity balance, automation clip. So for this one, yeah, like a really harsh. Something like that. And then I think I can just copy this as long as all the other layers have a, cello doesn't need it, electric guitar does. think I do need to make it for every single one. Which is kind of annoying, but the other option is to make one on the master, but yeah, I like to keep the master alone, just in case something wonky happens. Violin will definitely need it because it's got a good amount of reverb. Yep, that sounds good. Harpsichord. Ooh, brass definitely needs it. Brass, you will be cut off short, my friend. Oh, wait, no, I do need you there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely strings. Definitely choir. Choir will require some automation. Maybe this one also wants like a harder cutoff so it doesn't drop out too quick. Different value 0. See what that sounds like. Yeah. If I cut out these. Ooh. Yeah, that's tight. Yeah, that's a little final touch. Ooh, Roman, you got a BA in math and a minor in philosophy? That's awesome. My dad is also a math teacher, funnily enough. Or was a math teacher, and then he retired, but dang. Everyone says we need more teachers, but where I'm from, teachers have been getting laid off. I couldn't even get an interview. So this school year will be my big leap into making my music my career. Yeah, I feel that. And even when there are teachers in need, like where I grew up, where my dad taught at, the schools near me, it was like they get paid pennies compared to if you just move to like a bigger city or even just like south an hour or two, your salary would just like increase like 50%. So where I grew up, it was very hard to keep teachers around after a certain period of time because they just like couldn't compete with the other wages and salaries. So a lot of good teachers I had ended up leaving. It's so weird. Like teachers are so vastly underrated, man. Like they literally educate the next generation of kids. And you know, you know this. And so it's getting paid nothing is just such a slap in the face. Yeah, it do be like that. Either you get the underpaid teachers or you get teachers that are in abundance and get laid off. There are some areas where it's good, but yeah, man. You're doing good stuff though, trying to educate the world. So, props to you for putting yourself out there and applying to those teacher jobs cuz even if they're getting laid off, man, they're always needed somewhere. But having music as your career too is also great. Alrighty, guys, cool. I think we fine-tuned some good stuff. We picked the song name, No Other Way. EQ'd the drums a little bit. Tried out my hand at doing a mixing session just to find out that basically, to my ears, it's sounding pretty good in terms of levels and things. I'll do some speaker tests off stream. Laptop speakers, headphones, over ears, earbuds, other Bluetooth speakers that probably have somewhere, TV. It's good to test your music on everything. Yeah, Roman. Tomorrow is the last day of the challenge. I'm on the East Coast, so it ends 9 p.m. my time, but it's midnight Eastern tomorrow. And I think we'll be getting more information tomorrow on how we are doing the whole voting situation, but as a gloss over. Okay, cool, yeah, exactly. It'll kind of be a light deadline for me, and then tomorrow's just kind of like tuning some stuff up and just making sure that it's sounding good and across multiple speakers. But I think compositionally, this is where we're at. I think we've got some great stuff. Roman, your stuff is also amazing. So props to you for sticking around and making it to today as your deadline. I will also probably just be wrapping stuff up. And I think tomorrow we'll get more information in the community. Yeah, Ezra, we all got some cool music. Music. Exactly, third time's the charm. Yeah, Green, tomorrow's the last day. And then there's going to be voting going on for a full week. I think Dan is having us create little, like, almost America's Got Talent, like, here's me and here's my song and all this stuff. And the way that the voting, I think, is going to go down, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you've heard different, but what I understood, and there's going to be an announcement tomorrow in the community, that we got to make the little social media snippet saying, like, here's my song, guys, what do you think? And voting is going to take place over 7 days now instead of 3. And whatever person's video gets the most engagement, likes, comments, shares, views, they're going to tally all of that up. And after 7 days, they'll see what metrics are the largest for the video. During the week, we're supposed to drive as many votes as possible from any methods. Yeah, exactly. So, like, you can share it with friends, share it with your community, ask everybody to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, share. So, let's all help each other out. I'm planning to also just like and comment on everybody's piece of music too. I think it will just be more engagement. We'll just make it so more people will be able to see everybody's stuff, and it's going to be cool. 7 days to account for Dan's vacation. Yes, I think so. There's that aspect to it as well. But I think also just to give each video time in the algorithm space to get to people, share it with other people, and that way it's not just like 3 days and the first person to make a video is like objectively going to have the most amount of time. 7 days makes it a little more fair if you were, 6 hours, 12 hours a day behind on getting a video out. But yeah, I'm curious to see what we all make for that video. It'll be cool. But that being said, guys, this song is kind of basically wrapped up here. And so I'm sharing it with any and all community that I'm in as well, making a super brain rot YouTube short. Yeah, you can make a brain rot YouTube short. Do it however you want. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but definitely trying to not just be like, please, please, please subscribe, please like the video and comment, because that's not going to get engagement. So, yeah. Cool. We're all going to crush. We all made some awesome music. I hope it's also not just a contest of who can make the most engagement bait video, and it is a vote as well on the cool music that you make. But we shall see. We shall see. Alrighty, guys. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in to 2 weeks of hour-plus streams and checking out everybody's stuff. This has been awesome. Again, thank you, Roman. Thank you, Ezra. Thank you, Jacob Green. Thank you, Green Develops. Thank you, Swario, who's not here right now. Thank you, everybody that's checked out any and all streams. It's been fun getting to make music and chatting with all of you, because all of you are super cool people. And yeah, it's a really cool way to just like still connect while making music, so you're not just making it alone. Wish everybody the best of luck. Everybody's making awesome music. For the people that are not in the challenge, go see everybody's videos once they're live. Comment on everybody's, but we'll see what kind of awesome videos everybody makes promoting their music. So tune in for that. We'll see you guys. Well, I probably won't stream tomorrow unless I do some mixing. So we'll see if I stream tomorrow or not. Alrighty. See you guys. Bye-bye.